that, oh my God, if they treat me in this way, I'll be complete, I'll be whole, I'll be blah, 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 and all my insecurities will have been proven wrong. But that's bullshit, because let's say you even did get in the relationship with those securities, you would still be dependent on that person to constantly be telling you that you're good enough, to be validating you, to make you feel good and like you're loved and worthy and blah, 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 which is just fucking codependency. Even if you get into a relationship like that with the person of your dreams, it won't even be all that satisfying. What up, everybody? Welcome back to Operation Moksha. As always, I'm your host, Chris Orozco, and today we're gonna be talking about simping. Simping is a somewhat controversial topic, even though I don't really think it should be. Something that happens to a lot of fucking people, and let's be honest, it can absolutely wreak havoc on your mental health. So from today, I'm gonna be talking about it from a mental health perspective, because I think really that's the only perspective that matters. There's nothing morally or like objectively, ethically wrong with simping. It's just a thing that people do to try and get attention. It's not that big of a deal. However, once you take a look at how it impacts your internal world, your confidence, your sense of self, and all these different things, it starts to become pretty apparent that it's causing some widespread big-ass problems that need to be dealt with pretty much immediately. So if you're the type of person that finds yourself putting a lot of energy into people that aren't reciprocating it and trying to win their favor in sneaky ways or indirect ways, or just basically putting out a lot of energy without getting anything back, you're really gonna wanna pay attention to this. So first, let's start by defining what simping even is. The Urban Dictionary definition of simping is giving way too much energy to someone that you like. Which is like, fine, okay, I guess that's a decently workable definition of simping, but I wanna take it a little bit deeper than that, because I actually heard Tristan Tate talk about simping from the perspective of it as an unequal exchange of value. And I think we can even go deeper there, because I think it's an unequal and unreciprocated exchange of energy. Because a lot of times it doesn't even come down to value. A lot of times it just comes down to you feeding energy to something that isn't giving any of it back to you. And the interesting thing about it is when you get into simping, a lot of times you're giving really valuable life force energy. You're giving away your need for validation. You're giving away your need for approval. You're giving away your need to feel good about yourself and all these things, and you're outsourcing it, putting yourself in a pretty vulnerable situation, even indirectly. You know, like you're just commenting like, oh, you're so beautiful, or like, oh, your ass looks fucking amazing, or like whatever it is, like, will you fucking marry me? Step on my balls, or whatever the thing is. You're saying whatever there is for you to say, and what is actually happening more often than not, because I did actually used to do this, is there's a very vulnerable part of you that wants validation, it wants acceptance, it wants love, it wants to be treated like it matters, it wants connection. And so you're projecting and presenting and sending this part of you over the internet or over the phone or whatever it is, and you're presenting a really vulnerable thing. And that has a kind of energy cost. Like vulnerability does actually have a bit of an energy cost, because when you put something vulnerable out there, it's vulnerable. That's why it's called that. And so vulnerability is putting yourself in a position where you could get hurt. And if you are reaching out to someone and you're putting a vulnerable part of yourself out there, what you're doing is putting a part of you that can get hurt out there. And more often than not, you end up getting hurt. Because what ends up happening is you put out all this energy, you're trying to get yourself noticed, you're trying to get yourself seen and appreciated and get connection and all these sorts of things, but you get absolutely nothing back. So instead of being like, okay, so I just put something out, I didn't get anything back, I respect myself, and I know that if I continue giving without receiving, I'm eventually gonna end up imbalanced and wonky and not really feeling very good. That's what somebody who respects themselves would do, but somebody who doesn't respect themselves just doubles down. And it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna send more energy. Maybe it's fucking money. Like I saw this crazy picture of this chick who had like received $10,000 from a guy on the internet, and then she used that $10,000 to take her and her boyfriend out on vacation. And she just called the guy that gave her $10,000 one of her subs. Like, I can't imagine what that would be like to send a woman $10,000 that you love, probably hoping for recognition, probably hoping for connection or some kind of equivalent exchange. You're sending that much money probably because you want to get noticed, because you want attention. And then instead, you don't even get your fucking name said. All you get said is, one of my subs sent me this money and now I'm spending it on my boyfriend. Like, I'm imagining that must be relatively fucking devastating. Unless, of course, you are just a good-natured person that has way too much fucking money and you appreciate this person's art and you want to support them. Sure, I'm sure that's possible. I'm sure that's out there. Maybe you are just like an extremely wealthy, good-hearted benefactor that sees people creating art that you like and want to support them. However, I'm sure 99.9% of motherfuckers are not that. I know there's a lot of people, I've seen this because I look at like different Reddit threads and all these different things. I know there's people that are spending money they don't really have. And when you look at the psychology of it, you're spending money that you don't have, spending energy that you could be spent on more meaningful things, but instead you're trying to reach out to people that quite honestly are never going to really give you the kind of reciprocal thing that you're looking for. And so what ends up happening is you put this vulnerable part of yourself out there and you don't get met in the way that you want to. So you keep putting more out because you got the sunk cost fallacy going on in the back of your head. So you just keep going and going and going and you get more and more drained and you feel worse and worse about yourself because you're draining your life force and get absolutely nothing in return. And so you're putting out more and more and you're putting out more that's vulnerable. And so there's something really interesting that happens in here. Because I know we've all seen screenshots of like guys that'll DM a model or whatever. And he'll be like, hey, you're beautiful. Hey, you're super hot. Hey, I love you. Hey, you want to get married? Or whatever the thing is. And then eventually, if she doesn't respond, he'll eventually go like, oh, fuck you anyway. I didn't like you. You're an ugly bitch. I hate you. Go die. And it's like, that's because of the vulnerability involved in it. Right? Like you are in a position where you're wanting connection, you're wanting all these things. You see a woman that meets your ideal, or at least you think that she does. And so you fantasize about it and project all this kind of bullshit onto her and think that she's going to complete you. And so you're putting yourself out there is in this kind of subtly vulnerable way. The vulnerability is subtle. You wouldn't really even be aware of it unless you're looking for it. And so you put this vulnerable part of you out, hoping for a response, but you don't get a response. And so this projection that you've put on this person is shattered. And this good thing that you were imagining has now just validated your own lack of self-worth back to you. You're kind of outsourcing your needs for validation and love and acceptance and connection. And so you're kind of saying, all right, I'm going to put this out there. And if she responds to me in the way that I want, that means I'm valuable and that means I'm worthwhile and that means all these sorts of things. However, when you put that out and she doesn't respond to you, what that does is say, I'm not valuable. I'm not worthwhile. I'm not a person worthy of connection and all the things that I want. And then it's that validation of what you were already feeling underneath that causes a lot of people to lash out. Because all of this was happening internally in the first place. Right? Like you had a need for love and validation and connection and acceptance and all sorts of things. You outsourced it by simping and trying to get attention or crumbs of attention, let's be real, from this person on the internet that you don't even know. And then when it's not reciprocated, you're like, oh, fuck, that must be because, and then you fill in the blank with whatever your own judgments and insecurities are. And then you get mad at the woman for making you feel bad, even though it all happened for you in the first place. You get all angry and lash out and completely fuck any chance you ever had. So what really needs to be done here is an acknowledgement that when you are simping, when you're sending out more energy, when you're putting out vulnerable parts of yourself, when you're trying to get validated or anything like that, especially if you're spending a lot of money on this, you got to understand what you're trying to get. And it's going to be a little different for each person. Some people just want to be acknowledged. Some people want connection. Some people want romance. Some people want some kind of fucking fantasy. But you have to understand that what you have essentially become infatuated with is a projection. You have projected onto this person that you don't even fucking know, because real satisfaction in a relationship comes from two whole people that know how to meet their own needs and can give energy back and forth in a reciprocal and equally loving and caring way. But when you're codependent, you can't really allow for that because you're not giving to yourself. So you are dependent on the other person to give you all those things. And it's really bad when you get dependent on a person that you don't even know, that doesn't even give anything back to you. That's a very terrible place to be. So what you need to do is acknowledge that, like, okay, I'm putting out all this energy, I'm putting out all this time, I'm possibly even putting out a lot of money. What am I hoping to get back? And this is going to be kind of confronting to actually ask yourself this question. It can be really humbling, it can be really embarrassing, it can make you feel a lot of shame and a lot of embarrassment. You'd be like, okay, I sent all these messages, I sent all this money, I did all this thing, and honestly, I just wanted to be acknowledged. I just want to feel like I'm good enough. I just want this beautiful woman that I've projected my anima onto to tell me that I am a glorious, shining example of humanity that deserves to exist and proliferate my genes into the future. Like, that's really what you're hoping for underneath the surface, but that's a very hard realization to come to, because it's just embarrassing and it's rough and it's tough and I've been there. So I feel for you. This isn't something that I've never done. I've done it before. I'm speaking from experience, which is why I understand the internal dynamics of it so fucking well. However, the way out of this is once you identify what it is you're trying to get from the other person, you just simply give it to yourself. And more importantly, you give it to the parts of you that need it the most. Because what really happens is when you outsource your validation, because people get validation wrong. People think validation is akin to compliments and things like that, but it's really not. When you have a part of you that you're trying to get validated, it's a part of you that you reject. Maybe it's your insecurity, maybe it's some other part of you that you don't really like all that much, and you've rejected it and you've fractured it off, and that part of you is getting no validation from you. That part of you is not getting the clear message and embodied experience that it's okay for that part to exist. It's okay for it to be what it is. It's loved, it's accepted, it's going to get incorporated and integrated into your whole sense of self and psyche and all that sort of stuff. It's off in the shadows doing whatever it does, trying to get validated from someone else because you're not validating it. But the thing that we get wrong is we think that if, oh, this other person accepts me, that must mean I'm good enough. It's like, well, no, that has nothing to do with it, because this person could be a horrible match for you. This person could actually suck as a person, and getting validation from them could actually not mean all the many good things about you. So what you need to do is figure out what specific part of you is trying to get validated and what that validation might look like coming from you. Like, I know for me, I had judgments in my past about being a bad person. I watched my dad die when I was a little kid. I didn't know what to do about it since I was 6. So I blamed myself, saying that I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't capable enough to save my dad. And so ultimately I was a bad person for not saving him. And so for me, when I was doing this, I was looking for confirmation that I'm not a bad person. And so for me, like, love from a beautiful woman was akin to me feeling like I'm a good enough person who deserves to love himself and doesn't have to feel like this atrocious piece of shit. So what I had to do was acknowledge that some part of me did feel like an atrocious piece of shit, even though I didn't deserve it, and even though it wasn't accurate. I had to acknowledge that I felt that way, love that part of myself, until the idea that it was bad started to fall apart. Because when you love something, when you love a part of yourself, no matter what shitty things it believes about itself, when it experiences true, genuine, unconditional love on a consistent basis from you, its insecurities and doubts or negative beliefs or whatever will start to fall apart on their own. And this is the experience that we're really trying to get by outsourcing all these things to other people, whether it be in codependent relationships, even working too hard to try and get acknowledgement is the same exact fucking thing, but also simping. And simping is a very easy thing to fall into, especially nowadays. We have OnlyFans, and these girls are literally giving you the fake girlfriend experience. And I know there's a lot of predatory elements of this that I'm not even gonna go into, because that's not the important thing here. The important thing here is that there are people that know that what you are looking for is a fake, not as good version of having a real life girlfriend, and so they'll give you that and they'll have you pay for it. But let's be real, most of the time you're not even talking to the girl you think you're talking to, but that's a story for another time. So yeah, so simping is the easiest way to fall into this sort of thing nowadays, because you have all these models that will give you the fake girlfriend experience. You can text them on fucking OnlyFans, you can comment on their Instagram or their Twitter or whatever, and maybe they'll like your comment and maybe they'll respond to it. And most of the time, that's really just them being good at social media, because you have to respond to people and you have to like make it seem like there's a connection there in order to be good at social media. That's a huge part of having a successful account, whether it be OnlyFans or whatever, is giving people a real sense of connection and familiarity, and like you're actually there talking to them. So you're falling into these traps of thinking that you're getting even a full-on fake girlfriend experience. Or maybe you're getting a dopamine rush from like someone liking your comment. Or maybe you're getting a big dopamine spike from somebody responding to your comment with like smiley faces and winkies and shit. And you're like, oh my God, she fucking loves me. But it's just a fake pretend version of the real thing you could create for yourself if you faced these unconscious needs. And it's really difficult because you get hooked into that dopamine thing. And when you see the girl, you're gonna wanna comment. You're gonna wanna be like, oh my God, like if she would just fucking respond to me, all my problems would go away forever. Oh, this would be fucking amazing. This is also where people get stuck on fucking codependency, is that the hope is so intoxicating. If you genuinely believe that you could never have better, if you genuinely believe that you could never have what you truly want, it becomes much more appealing than most of us would like to admit to settle for crumbs. And that's where codependency and simping comes from. You look at this beautiful woman or whatever and you think, oh, you know, she'd never actually date me. She'd never actually hang out with me. But, you know, if I can get her to respond to one of my messages, then maybe. And it's that hope. And that hope will fucking kill you. Like, hope is a beautiful thing, but there's times at which it can be one of the most tragically, just ruthlessly brutal psychological elements you have going for you, because that hope is actually attempting to counterbalance a sense of powerlessness, a sense of worthlessness, a sense of like, I'll never have what I want, so let me at least try to get some of these crumbs. And the part of you that will hold out hope for that is very intoxicating. It's very convincing, and it'll make you want to do a whole bunch of shit that isn't really good for you. So instead, what you need to do is pull back and be like, all right, why do I want to send this? What am I hoping to get back? How can I begin to meet those needs for myself? And then ultimately you can step more into wholeness. You can pull your power back, and then you'll know what it's like to actually receive love and acceptance and compassion and connection from yourself on a consistent basis. And then you will actually no longer want to settle for anything that isn't mutually beneficial. Like, I'm at the point in my life right now where if I don't get back the energy that I want from a woman that I'm talking to, I just stop talking. I'm just like, cool, I'm not getting what I want here. Great. I wish you well. I wish you the best. It's been fun talking to you. I'm going to put my energy somewhere else because I want people that are as excited to hang out with me as I am excited to hang out with them. Now, sometimes I get disappointed because the people I'm excited to hang out with aren't necessarily excited to hang out with me. But sometimes I get really excited because the people that I am excited to hang out with do want to hang out with me. And you got to learn how to take the good with the bad. You got to learn how to take the losses with the wins. Because again, it comes back to a compatibility a lot of the time. Like a lot of times these chicks that you're simping for, like they may not like you as a person. You may not like them as a person. They may be so different from you that if you actually hung out for a consistent amount of time, you'd be like, I actually don't even fucking like you. We don't have anything in common. This sucks. This isn't even all that fun. And so you got to understand that you're in love with a projection, but when you actually start connecting with real people, some of them will be good for you and some of them won't. And you have to learn how to take the losses with the wins. And one of the most important skills you can develop as a man is to be able to take rejection from a woman that you're attracted to and not have it impact your sense of self. So many people are holding themselves back because they're afraid of that rejection. So many people lash out like assholes when they get that rejection. So many people shoot themselves in the dick because they are afraid of getting that rejection. And it causes them to do all kinds of ridiculous things, whether it be holding back and not showing clear intent, and which is another thing simping is allows you to hide in, or whether it's leaning too far in and making kind of an ass out of yourself. There's a bunch of different ways that this can show up. And so you really want to be careful about this. And so once you start meeting your own internal needs, you'll be like, wait a minute, is this actually giving me what I want? Because my needs are internally sourced. I'm not codependent anymore. I don't need to settle for crumbs. I know what it's like to feel good about myself. I know what it's like to consistently feel loved and accepted and appreciated. So anything that's less than that is just not all that desirable. And just to kind of fill out that last point I was going to make a little bit, one of the other things that simping allows people to do is hide out their real intentions. Right? It's like you'll just, this is so funny because like I talk to a lot of women and there's this like common meme that has started to spring up with the women in my life where guys will flirt by sending the fucking flame emoji on a fucking Instagram story and that's it. Like that's the whole conversation. That's them shooting their shot. And so many women that I know laugh about this and think it's really kind of ridiculous, but this is like another kind of simping, right? You're just kind of like sending out some information, sending out something, you don't really think you're gonna get anything back, so you don't go all the way, and then it's like you don't get anything back, and you're like, oh, fuck this bitch, like she sucks, blah, 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 blah. And it's really stupid. So simping is a way to hide out your clear intent, or just shoot your shot. Like it's better to just get the rejection straight up, rather than spend weeks sending messages that you're not gonna get responses to, sending out less than clear intent, so the chick doesn't even know where you're at or what you really think or what you really want. You're getting this kind of awkward half in, half out thing, and nobody really likes being around that. So instead, what you can just do is be very clear in your intent, shoot your shot, take the L if you have to, enjoy the W if you get to, but just be very clear in your intent, see if it's reciprocated. If it's not, do the integrative work to clean up whatever insecurities or doubts or self-judgments or anything like that that might show up from taking the W or from taking the L, and just keep fucking going. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to make a big deal about it. If she says no, if she's not interested in you, worst case scenario, that shows you a wounded part of your psyche that you get to face and love and integrate and help become stronger. If she does say yes, well, then it's like you got your fucking dream right there. You might as well enjoy it. And then you keep facing all that shit so that you don't stay codependent on her and you can actually enjoy a relationship if you get one. So this has been everything I wanted to say about simping. Don't do it. It's bad for your health. It's bad for your community. It's bad for your brothers. It's honestly bad for the women that you're doing it for as well, even though some of them make a bunch of money on it. That's another video for another time. However, it's not good for you. Take your energy back, meet your own needs, become whole. Don't settle for less than something that is truly mutually nourishing and beneficial. Hold your standards, hold your self-respect, and know that you deserve better than crumbs. I love you. I'm Chris Roscoe. I'll see you next time.